Representing Mississippi, Lawson Marchetti. A junior from Jackson, Mississippi, Lawson attends Jackson Preparatory School. Lawson credits poetry out loud for making him a better thinker, listener, performer, and entertainer, as well as a better, wiser, and more helpful human being. If he had a superpower, he'd like it to be shape-shifting, because while he's good at acting, he doesn't have his own special effects makeup team, yet. Lawson Marchetti.
Fishing on the Susquehanna in July by Billy Collins. I have never been fishing on the Susquehanna, or in any other river for that matter, to be perfectly honest. Not in July or any month have I had the pleasure, if it is a pleasure, of fishing on the Susquehanna. I am more likely to be found in a quiet room like this one, a painting of a woman on the wall, a bowl of tangerines on the table, trying to manufacture the sensation of fishing on the Susquehanna. There is little doubt that others have been fishing on the Susquehanna, rowing upstream in a wooden boat, sliding the oars under the water, then raising them to drip in the light. But the nearest I have ever come to fishing on the Susquehanna was one afternoon in a museum in Philadelphia, when I balanced a little egg of time in front of a painting in which that river curled around a bend under a blue, cloud-ruffled sky, dense trees along the banks, and a fellow with a red bandana sitting in a small, green, flat-bottomed boat holding the thin whip of a pole. That is something I am unlikely ever to do, I remember saying to myself and the person next to me. Then I blinked and moved on to other American scenes of haystacks, water whitening over rocks, even one of a brown hare, who seemed so wired with alertness I imagined him springing right out of the frame.
From Mississippi, Lawson Marchetti.
Novel by Arthur Rimbaud. We aren't serious when we're 17. One fine evening, to hell with beer and lemonade, noisy cafes with their shining lamps. We walk under the green linden trees of the park. The lindens smell good in the good June evenings. At times the air is so scented that we close our eyes. A wind laden with sounds, the town isn't far, has the smell of grapevines and beer. There, you can see a very small patch of dark blue, framed by a little branch, pinned up by a naughty star that melts in gentle quivers, small and very white. Night in June. 17 years old. We were overcome by it all. The sap is champagne and goes to our head. We talked a lot and feel a kiss on our lips, trembling there like a small insect. Our wild heart moves through novels like Robinson Crusoe when, in the light of a pale street lamp, a girl goes by. Attractive and charming, under the shadow of her father's terrible collar. And as she finds you incredibly naive, while clicking her little boots, she turns abruptly, and in a lively way, then Cavatina's die on your lips. You are in love? Occupied until the month of August, you are in love. Your sonnets make her laugh. All your friends go off. You are ridiculous. Then one evening, the girl you worship deigned to write to you. That evening, you return to the bright cafes. You ask for beer or lemonade. We're not serious when we are 17 and when we have green linden trees in the park.
From Mississippi, Lawson Marchetti.
Every Single Day by John Straley, after Raymond Carver's Hummingbird. Suppose I said the word springtime, and I wrote the words king salmon on a piece of paper and mailed it to you. When you opened it, would you remember that afternoon we spent together in the yellow boat, when the early whales were feeding, and we caught our first fish of the year? Or would you remember that time off Cape Flattery when you were a little girl? Your father smoking, telling stories as he ran the boat. Then the tug and zing of that very first fish spooling off into the gray-green world. You laughing and brushing back your hair before setting the hook. I know I am hard to understand sometimes, particularly when you're standing at the post office with only a piece of paper saying king salmon on it. But just think of it as a promissory note. And that electric tug, that thrill pulling your mind into deep water is how I feel about you every single day.
All right. And so now we are at the moment everyone's been waiting for. Finalists, as I read your name, please step forward. This region's honorable mention award goes to the students who finished in 4th place. The student will receive a $1,000 cash prize and $500 for their school library to purchase poetry books. And our honorable mention is from Mississippi, Lawson Marchetti.